How many of you are having very clear sensory perceptions? How many of your digestive fire is burning well? For how many of you it is all disturbed? And mind and body are not really separate. You can't think that, what this is happening is in my body and this is anger and fear in my mind and they are not interacting. That is an illusion. They're constantly interacting, internally quiet, free from stress, free from worry, and free from anxiety. Then those people will be able to make very clear choices that will help their health. Addictions can be of any kind. It could be substance, it could be alcohol, it could be just entertainment, a lot of pleasure. It could also be food. If you're not able to address your inner state, you will not be capable of living a disciplined life.
こんにちは。アイルベーダ専門家のMotokoです。本日は今ここマレーシアにいまして、とってもスペシャルなゲストにお越しいただきました。今日は、そのスペシャルゲストさんと心と体の関係性、そして病気について、深掘りしていきたいと思っています。それではご紹介します。本日のスペシャルゲスト、シュリー・プリタジです。
Namaste.
Namaste. よろしくお願いいたします。
Wonderful being with you, and it's so beautiful in Malaysia.
So in my channel, a lot of people wanted to know a lot of the wisdom because they are holding some psychosomatic illness. So based on that, I want to ask you some questions. So first of all, it is about illness. The first thing is a very simple question about the variety. But why do people get sick? Why do people get ill?
Let's start off from Ayurveda's perspective. A person is in great health when the vital energies are balanced. A person is in great health when the digestive fire is well and elimination happens, when the sensory perceptions are very clear and the being is in bliss. This is the definition of health according to Ayurveda. The question now is, how many of you are living in bliss? How many of you are having very clear sensory perceptions? How many of your digestive fire is burning well? For how many of you it is all disturbed? When these gets disturbed, according to Ayurveda, there is ill health that is setting. And as you mentioned, the majority or a major influencer for creating health is one's mind. Ayurveda talks about the digestive fire. Well, Sri Krishna Ji and I also talk about your ability to digest life. Science is right now talking about aging is caused or disease is caused by the undigested material that is flowing in the body as toxins. Well, Shri Krishna and I are talking about your life that is undigested, where the past is continuing to impact your present and how that is continuing to impact your mind. And mind and body are not really separate. You can't think that, what this is happening is in my body and this is anger and fear in my mind and they are not interacting. That is an illusion. They're constantly interacting through your breath, through the flow of the hormones, the adrenals, the cortisols. Everything is flooding as your mind is not in a place of calm. And the past is continuing to float in your consciousness and in your mind. It is beginning to impact your body. That is why you see people who are internally very calm, very unperturbed with whatever is happening in the external life, people who are able to experience their being in bliss, they are people who live for a very long period of time free of diseases. So without handling your anger, you really cannot think about bringing about your pitta levels down. Without bringing attention to your fear, you can really not think about clearing the autoimmune diseases of the body. So it is like your mind and the disease of the body are also connected. The mind and the imbalance in the doshas are also connected. And if we do not bring attention to our inner experience, how we are processing life, how we are experiencing challenges, if we are not bringing attention to that, how much ever we try to create health just using the physical body, it is still lopsided.
It is still lopsided. I totally agree, and I understand what you said. Thank you so much, especially when I'm seeing my client, my followers. There are a lot of people who have a lot of separation between their inner world and the external world. For example, there is a person who is struggling with an allergy. Then the doctor, or in Ayurveda, they advise this person not to eat spicy food, not to eat sour food, and not to eat fried things. But for some reason, they are going to eat a lot of spicy and sour food and glide like a chicken, all those things. So in those days, they were holding some issue externally, but at the same time, the same kind of issue internally too. And then it gets worse, the symptoms get worse, and then what they are craving for their foods, but at the same time, they are really suffering. They are really immersing into suffering, and they cannot get out of that situation. And they are in desperation. And sometimes they are panicking. So, should you give any advice on this, please?
See, whatever the inner state is, um, it is possible that their inner experience of suffering, whatever that suffering state is, it could be fear, it could be anxiety, it could be a little sadness, it is driving, or it could be a lot of worry around something and stress inside that is driving the external reaction, which is the skin problem that they're facing. So that could be one of the cause for the skin problem that they're experiencing. And then you have the directions from the doctor not to be doing this, not to be doing that. And but they are lured into doing that. Unless until you become calm internally, until you're quiet internally, you really do not find the strength to follow a particular discipline. Because food becomes an addiction. The familiarity of a particular food becomes one's comfort at that point when they're not feeling good. So many people have resorted to food being their comfort zone and get back to the old ways of eating, just like how they have sometimes this space in their feeling which has become their comfort zone, like sadness has become their comfort zone, uh, disappointment has become, hurt has become their comfort zone, though it is an uncomfortable, just like how irritation in the skin is uncomfortable, but then you're not able to be disciplined in order to cure it. Pretty similarly, that you have gone into these spaces in consciousness, which has become your experience, your habitual experience, you're moving into it. And then not able to handle it, you move into addictions. If food has become an addiction, it is not possible for them to let go of the fried foods and all that. Food has become the addiction. Food has become the place to go every time they have felt uncomfortable. So they are not able to say a no to it. So they are automatically lured into it. But if a person becomes internally calm, internally quiet, free from stress, free from worry, and free from anxiety, then those people will be able to make very clear choices that will help their health. When there is an inner agitation, one is lured to familiarity. One is lured to moving into addictions. Addictions can be of any kind. It could be substance, it could be alcohol, it could be just entertainment, a lot of pleasure. It could also be food. If you're not able to address your inner state, you will not be capable of living a disciplined life. So it is like saying when they are internally disturbed, you should expect that they are going to move towards the familiar food habits. That is their comfort that they're receiving to feel a little good inside.
I'm so happy that I received this advice because for me also, as I started learning from you and Sri Krishna Ji, my life has changed. For example, how I go to the bathroom and washroom and then an extra excrete, 3 things every action, every activity. I became more mindful. And then in Japan, of course, this is maybe called Zen, the way, like a Zen lifestyle. But more awareness was brought into my life after I encountered a teaching from you. So that's how my inner world became calmer and more still. And then I could claim that my health is more and more than the first time. The very first time Motoko-san met you was in 4. Then that time I was practicing Ayurveda for about 25 years already. But I'm thinking what I have been practicing is the best. But once I entered this field that was created by an enlightened master, I was so moved and so inspired. But normally people, including myself, have this ego and then think I can control everything. Then that's how this ego and then the feeling that I can control everything is bringing this all to the same habit, to a like wave.
Shri Krishna Ji and I, our vision is to create awakened people, leading them to enlightenment. Awakened leaders, awakened parents, awakened teachers, awakened professionals, awakened influencers. So, and awakening does not happen with a change, a tiny little change in perception, in belief, in more knowledge. An awakening is something that happens at the realm of one's consciousness. Because for the largest part, one lives within the mind, within the same emotions, same inner experiences. And these same emotions, same inner experiences, creating similar external patterns in one's life. From the negative patterns that you are stuck, either it could be in your relationship, it could be in your work experience, in your career, in your wealth creation, or in your influence, wherever you are, it creates a similar patterns if you are stuck with similar inner experiences. Because only when you are in that state of inner quiet and calm, you can create, even for your body, the health that you want to create, um, the cleanse that you need to, that needs to happen. All that is so dependent on your inner state, and this will allow you to go beyond your past experiences. It will allow you to go beyond that which you are stuck internally and externally, open up to a new life.
プリタジどうもありがとうございました。
Thank you. So beautiful to be talking to you on health.
続いては、思考の学校というチャンネルをされている陽子さんのチャンネルでシュリプリタジに貴重なお話を伺います。詳細は概要欄をご覧ください。
The link.
ああ、笑っちゃいそうだった。
一回はやる。